is Jim Carney.
Roscommon were captained today by Enon Gavin, their most experienced player, and Sligo by Brendan Kilcoyne, standing in for injured skipper Mick Galvin. Philip Neary got the first score of the game. The Tubbercurry left half forward made a good run and put over a fine point. Paul Taylor of Sligo and Luke Dolan of Roscommon then swapped points off frees, and Paul Taylor got the second of his 9 points in a man-of-the-match performance. A lot of pressure exerted by the Roscommon defence, but Sligo sticking to their task, and though playing into a stiff breeze, a neat point by Paul Taylor. Trailing by 2 points, Roscommon simply had to make the wind tell, and they staged a spirited revival, sparked off by this splendid point by right full forward Nigel Deneen. The next one was put over by Luke Dolan, free taker and expert at taking points from play 2 from his right half forward position. Dolan followed that with a point off a free. It was now 4-3 to Roscommon. Then a great move involving right half back Rossa O'Callaghan and midfielder Tom Ryan lurking to put the ball over the bar for a 2-point lead. Roscommon 5, Sligo 3. Nigel Deneen again proving tricky and elusive, and expert marksmanship from the top of the right position. And from double scores at 6-3, it was 7-3 to Roscommon when Tom Ryan played a great ball down to Don Connellan, who'd come out from his full forward position. He transferred smartly to Alan Nolan, and the centre half forward found the range with a superb kick. Sligo manager Mickey Moran wanted more effort from his team. A great chance for a Roscommon goal. Niall O'Donoghue in possession, but the goalkeeper Pat Kilcoyne advanced, and left full-back Neil Carew bravely and brilliantly deflected it over the bar, the last piece of major action in the first half, after which Roscommon led 10 points to 5. In the second half, Sligo had the advantage of the wind, and Eamon O'Hara made it pay with that good early point from a Paul Taylor pass, and then Paul Taylor himself swung over a beauty, and Sligo were edging closer. A free by Paul Taylor left just 2 points between them, and Philip Neary cut that to 1 with a spectacular effort from the right wing. A Paul Taylor free levelled the game, and then right full forward Desi Sloan kicked the point that put Sligo on 0-11 to Roscommon's 0-10, a lead they would not relinquish. Then, to Roscommon's horror, this happened. Short pass by goalie Shane Curran, Martin Feely robbed by Desi Sloan, Philip Neary to boot home the goal that put Sligo into the Connacht final. It took Roscommon almost 30 minutes of the second half to register a score, a point by Tom Ryan. And then Ryan was on hand to drive home that consolation goal, leaving just enough time for Paul Taylor to send over the last of his 9 points.
This was the build-up to the biggest game of our lives when we heard the draw a couple of months ago in Roscommon. I'm sure they were delighted with the draw too, and we had a home draw and we were absolutely delighted. And it's great for everyone, it's great for the crowd, it's great for the management, and it's magnificent for the team.
Mickey Moran, this was a superb performance by Sligo. Where did it come from, this display?
The result a little bit hurt, you know, in belief in ourselves. We've trained very hard. They're a young panel, they were very receptive to the training, and they put an awful effort in. We knew Roscommon were going to be tough, and we went out and we played a tough championship game and came out in the end.
Yes, big win for Sligo. Their last Connacht title was achieved in 1975. They now have a tilt at another on August 3rd against either Mayo or Leitrim. Colm O'Rourke and Pat Spillane have been looking at that match. Also the game between Cavan and Donegal. Let's start with that one. Colm, in the 2 matches against Fermanagh for Cavan, they didn't look convincing. They obviously played better today.
Well, Cavan now have got the benefit of 2 hard championship matches. Really and truly, they should have been out of it. The first day against Fermanagh, a late chance to put Fermanagh 2 points up, and that would have been it for Donegal or for Cavan. Now Cavan are in an Ulster final, having 3 games behind them, and are progressing. Played very well today. I was very impressed with the sheer mobility of their team and the fitness. They've a lot of speed up front in the Rileys and Ronan Carlin, Fintan Cahill. And I suppose the big bonus for Cavan was Ronan Carlin today. Delivered on some of what we would have seen as his talent over the years, and he never seemed to give it from play. He was always accurate from frees, and today he really turned it on from play.
Sure. 2 goals for Cavan in the second half. Pat, obviously they were crucial to their win.
They were indeed. What McHugh has brought to Cavan this time, he's brought the short passing game of Donegal, but he's also utilised the long passing game. Great support play, good run here from Patrick Shields onto the on-running Ronan Callan, who sends an unstoppable shot past Paul Callan. Like I said, he scored 1-7 today. Cavan were all the much sharper. Here we had Larry Riley, first to the ball, first to the breaking ball again, and toe poking the ball past Paul Callan. Like Colm said, their mobility was fantastic. They were very, very impressive in the second half. Great support play. Admittedly, it was against the Donegal team who have never been able to replace some of the stars of '92, and a lot of those guys that have remained are probably gone past it. But a very, very impressive display, and the wide open pitch at Clones certainly suits this Cavan team.
Colm not just scoring good goals, but also keeping them out at the other end. We saw a great double save there. Question about this: should it have been a penalty?
Well, there is a big question mark over this. Certainly Paul O'Dowd makes an absolutely brilliant save in the first instance from James Ruan, and this was at a time when Donegal could have got back into the game. Out very, very quickly and blocks it down. Tony Boyle does very well then, gets in on the end line and gives it back out to James Ruan, and Paul O'Dowd advances, but an absolutely definite foot block, and it should have been a penalty, the same as in Croke Park last Sunday.
Yes.
Except that was a more obvious one for the referee to pick up. But again, it shouldn't take away from Cavan's performance. They would have won that match anyway, even if Donegal, I think, got a penalty at that time, because they ran Donegal just totally off their feet. The Cavan fitness is now beginning to tell in a big way.
Let's look at the game in Connacht today. As I said, a good win for Sligo, obviously. Remember the teams of the mid-70s and all the players, and the David Pughs and the Jerry Mitchells and so forth. And this is what Sligo obviously would like to get back to again, but they haven't seen too many Connacht finals.
No, I suppose at the beginning of the year it was obvious that the draw in Connacht was a bit lopsided, putting Mayo and Leitrim and Galway and London in one side, and with Sligo and Roscommon on the other side. It was Sligo's best chance to get to a Connacht final. Now, Mickey Moran's, I'd say that Mickey Moran is getting on much better in Sligo than in Derry. He inherited a messy situation in Derry, and it never was going to work out for him. But in Sligo, he's done a lot of work. And Sligo were doing a lot of work in coaching themselves. So the whole combination of things is now beginning to work.
OK, gentlemen, thank you very much for the moment. Now, at this point, we take a break. After that...